evening. You're watching The Money Show right here on ET Now. I'm Mubina, and just one day left to go before the world's biggest cricket extravaganza kick-starts. And if you are traveling to London to cheer on Team India, this is the show that you need to tune into. Reason being, well, if you are traveling to London, you need to ensure you've insured your trip. And of course, here on the show, we're also going to get you top tips on how you can save your money. What should you budget for when you travel to London? For now, of course, some details about this big move, this big cricket extravaganza. For one, Team India has already won for the simple reason that Indians are among the largest number of people flocking to London to watch the cricket extravaganza, the cricket tournament. In fact, some reports are pegging the figure as much as 80,000 Indians. Even flight bookings ahead of the tournament have surged. Indians are once again at the top of the list. In fact, Travelport, which is a leading travel commerce platform, has said that there may be almost 47,000 tickets that have been booked in the last 4 to 5 days. And unsurprisingly, one of the biggest and arguably most awaited match of the tournament is going to be the India-Pakistan match, and tickets are in fact as much as 3,000 to 5,000 US dollars. So lots at stake over there. But like I said, on the Money Show, we are going to help you not just enjoy your trip, but also insure it against all sorts of possible catastrophes that may transpire. So right here on this show, I'm going to get you first up to talk about how you can insure your trip to London. Mr. T.A. Ramalingam, the Chief Distribution Officer of Bajaj Allianz General Insurance. Mr. Ramalingam, thank you for joining in on ET Now. And by the way, just a reminder for our viewers, if you're traveling abroad and you have any questions or queries with respect to travel insurance, call in. The number is appearing on the top of your screen, 675494998. Okay, Mr. Ramalingam, no surprises for guessing that you, along with a billion others, are going to be cheering for Team India. By the way, let me ask you beforehand, do you have any plans to go catch any of the matches in London?
No, unfortunately, I think there's a lot of work out here, so I cannot make it. But I'm a cricket fan, so I will be watching it on the television, surely.
Well, maybe not on ground, but definitely behind the silver screen is, I think, where most of us are going to be glued in. But, you know, Mr. Ramalingam, we keep talking about travel insurance on the Money Show. And this is something that everyone should look at, especially when you're going for a specific occasion, and that is to enjoy cricket. You really don't want any other catastrophe ruining your trip. And given the fact that this is going to be a long duration trip, that's hopefully, if India does make it all the way through the finals, it's definitely going to be a long duration trip. So what is it that travelers who are traveling to London should keep in their mind while picking an insurance plan?
I think, first of all, what the travelers need to look at is that insurance abroad is a very expensive thing. So when they are actually spending so much of money on a ticket, the insurance premium for a travel policy will not cost more than $40 to $50. So the insurance policy actually covers the trip delay, loss of baggage, any kind of accident that happens once they reach the London. Similarly, any kind of hospitalization that is required. So you need to look at the fact that the hospitalization is very expensive in a place like UK, and you don't want to spoil your holiday with very expensive treatment, and you need to go out of pocket. So insurance policy is very much required. We also have a facility where in case of any unfortunate event, all you need to do is to give a missed call, and somebody from India will give you a call and actually guide you on how to handle the claim part. So according to me, the travel piece is a very important part. The expenses involved in there is very, very low. And I think it's a must have for any traveler going anytime abroad.
Alright, travel insurance is imperative. You do not want to be shelling out precious pounds in hospital bills when you could actually be watching a cricket match. Okay, but this show is all about questions and queries, so let's get to those. We have received a couple of email queries, and of course, if you want to call in as well, you can do so. The number is appearing on top of your screens. Karan Kedia has sent in a question, and he asks, well, quite a simple question. Does traveling for sporting events have any specific insurance plans or customized requirements requirements. I think Mr. Ramalingam, Karan may be alluding to bad weather and match cancellations. He may be alluding to that, I'm not sure. But yeah, would you have any specific recommendations when someone travels specifically for sporting events?
No, Karan, actually, it's a good question. If you look at it from the insurance point of view, since you are not actually participating in a sporting event, there is no separate requirement for insurance. The insurance requirement is just like for any other traveler that we offer. So the normal travel policy will take care of all your requirements. There is no special coverage that needs to be opted for. Unless you're also playing in a cricket match or something like that, then the coverage actually changes. But for a traveler who is going to visit the place to see the cricket match, the normal travel policy takes care of all your worries.
Karan, unless you are a part of the extras beyond Team 11, then is when we will ensure that you get a customized insurance plan. But for now, any regular travel insurance as well will work. Next up, we have Vijay Salunke, who has sent in a question. He says, I am traveling to London for around 2 weeks and I have taken insurance for the exact period. What should I do if I plan to increase the duration of my trip? Mr. Ramalingam, this is something we were discussing, because the fact that it's a binary event, you don't know what the outcome of the match is going to be. Many of our viewers may actually want to extend the trip. So how should they, sort of shape their insurance policy? How should they pick the insurance policy then?
Vijay, my advice to all those people who travel is to say that whenever you're traveling, it's always better to take a coverage for 1 week additionally, because you never know if there is any kind of change in your plans that can happen, or if your flights get delayed, because of which you need to stay extra time abroad. So our advice to all our travelers is always to say that you take a 1 week extra. It won't charge. It doesn't cost much. So looking at from that point of view, it is advisable that you take a additional cover for a week or so. Even if you have to actually extend after you've taken a policy, all you need to do is to send us an email with a good health declaration saying that you want to extend the policy, and we will do the needful at our end.
All right. So always safe side. Make sure you take an extra 7 days of cover. So there is a bit of flexibility over there as well, and you do not need to be scrambling around if in case there are change in your travel plans. Ali Contractor has sent in a question. He says, I was buying a flight ticket via Make My Trip and it gave me an option to buy insurance for a small amount. I did take it since it was a small amount, but what does it mean? And in the event of any emergency, how should I claim such an insurance? Because there were no details about the same. Interesting question out there. It's a small amount, Mr. Ramalingam, and I think it would probably cover only the flight ticket, the flight duration rather. Could you explain what this amount is?
So, it's a good question, I think depending upon the various websites that are offering insurance covers, people normally give a personal accident cover, which covers any kind of accident that happens abroad. However, it will be good once they get the policy copy, because once they pay the premium, a soft copy is actually sent to them on their email ID. And if they can actually go through the coverage part, it will be much clearer, because different websites may have different coverages in place. So it's always better to have a look at the coverage part. From the insurance company's point of view, what we advise all our travelers is that look at these 4 or 5 covers, whether it covers your hospitalization, which means it should cover your medical expenses. Is it covering a personal accident? So let's say you have a trip or a fall, either at the aircraft or while deboarding, or at the stadium or something, and you have a fracture or something, the personal accident policy will take care of that. Similarly, any loss of baggage or loss of passport, these are some of the things which are very much essential to have in any travel policy. So our advice would be to see to it that these covers are there in the policy. If not, then you need to get in touch with your insurance advisor and get the right kind of a product.
Okay, all right. So that's essentially what that amount is. But yeah, like Mr. Ramalingam said, you have to be careful and just ensure what all is it covering. Recheck your email. There will definitely be a reply sent in over there as well by the trip. Mr. Ramalingam, I want to address one more question, and that is when it comes to claims. When or God forbid if there's any sort of emergency which causes our viewers or a traveler to sort of go to the insurance company and claim the money. Firstly, when you're on a foreign land, the cashless element or the upfront payment and the claim it later method, which one would be most preferable, and would the costs as well between these two options differ?
See, basically, what happens is that when you go abroad, many companies give you a facility of giving a call or an email. We as a company are also giving this missed call facility, where in case of any mishap, the team from India actually gives you a call and guides you to the hospital where you go, so that all the cashless facility or any other requirement that you have at the hospital is handled. The whole idea is that you need to have a seamless experience, and the travel policy is one which will be able to give you that best possible seamless experience. Many people who are not able to understand, they directly go and get admitted in a hospital, and in which case they end up paying out of pocket, and then they take the reimbursement from the insurance company once they are outside the hospital. We normally advise our customers to inform us so that we can arrange for the cashless facility, which makes their life much more simple.
Cashless always certainly does make things much more simple. All right, on that note, we'll just take a very quick break right here on the show. Do come right back. We'll continue talking about World Cup, your trip to London, and how it can be done with ease.